perspective from the other media, the other journalists. Usually what they do to ask questions, they gather together very respectfully. They deal with each other, and they will say, okay, CBC, you might have the first question. And then,
Sure.
you know, with CTV and all those guys.
But there was someone from your office that was handling questions yesterday at the podium. For the
Alex,
speakers.
yes.
And honestly, we're not accountable to CBC or CTV or anybody else.
No,
right?
I know.
Will you condemn the burning of churches in our province a hate crime, Horgan?
Can you keep the weight?
Will you acknowledge persecution against Christians in British Columbia?
Thank you.
I'm not going to go near him. Like, I'm just asking a question. That's all. I would
I have a
appreciate
job to do too,
but
babe.
please don't touch me.
You're touching me by advancing into my arms.
No, I'm going
Okay, well then-
sideways, not forward. And
Don't
you
advance.
touch me. A family was inside the church that was burnt in Ontario. Will you call it hate and terrorism to attack Christian places of worship, Prime Minister?
Frankly, Indigenous sovereignty is being ignored.
Well, what do you think about the Indigenous people who are pro-logging and the jobs that it provides for certain people?
Indigenous people that are pro-logging have been subject to colonization and the ideals of that.
It appears like this semi-truck tried to intentionally block possibly the Prime Minister on his way out. He's blocking the road. The police are in there right now. We're going to speak to them about what their cause is in just a moment, but let's see what unfolds. Drea Humphrey with Rebel News reporting to you just after the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, BC's Premier John Horgan, as well as Canada's Minister of Infrastructure and Communities Catherine McKenna made an announcement just up those stairs about the SkyTrain system coming here. But I was here for a different reason. There were mainstream media up there and they got to ask a few questions, but I came for the second day in a row to ask an urgent question of the Prime Minister, one question that he ran away from in this last report at rebelnews.com. You talked about Canada's last wrongs, the past things they haven't done right. When will you speak out about the 20 vandalized churches? They're burning churches and vandalizing them, and you're not calling it a hate crime. Did you know that one of those churches that were burnt has a family that lives inside of it? And our Prime Minister has still not called this hate or acts of terrorism. And he's running from my questions, and it gets worse. He's not just running from my questions. He's having his RCMP manhandle me for asking them. Take a look at this. They're burning churches and vandalizing them, and you're not calling it a hate crime. Here I am trying to do my job. You're going to see in this report how hard it is to do so, to ask these questions, the monopoly of trying to get on the list to ask questions that Canadians deserve to hear, which is why are Christians being persecuted in Canada without anybody caring? And yes, we're being persecuted. So while I continue to try to report on this, I need you to do me a favor if you want to help me do so. And anyone, any journalist, honestly, it doesn't even matter if they're mainstream media, we should not be getting manhandled for asking the Prime Minister a question. Please go to standwithdrea.com, sign our petition. We are filing a complaint so that this doesn't happen again. And I don't have to be tossed out of the side when the Prime Minister is surrounded by a whole bunch of other people and giving selfies, simply because I ask a question about the persecution of Christians when no one else wants to. This is the spot where the speeches came on, the pats on the back. Here's some money. Make sure you vote for me when I call an election. But just down there was a sea of anti-protesters, anti-John Horgan and anti-Justin Trudeau. We caught up with them later in this report as well, so you'll see that. But I want to fill you in on the journey of the struggle to do this report for you. It started with Matt Brevner. You've seen him before if you're a subscriber at Rebel News. If you're not, make sure you go to rebelnews.com. Bill C-10, the censorship bill, was delayed for now, so we can still bring you this story. But to make sure we don't lose touch, make sure you give us your email there and your phone number. But Matt Brevner came here. He was first to arrive. And take a look at this.
Okay, that's fine.
So why are you filming here?
Oh.
Getting ready.
I wasn't allowed to get a question in yesterday, so I'm just trying to get as much content as I can before the
Okay,
conference.
I'm just gonna ask you to step to the side for a second. I'll find out if you're allowed to be here right now.
Oh, isn't it open to all media? Or
Yeah, but it's not the media.
This isn't where the media is going. This is this area.
I understand. I just parked and I
Okay,
I
can
managed
you
to see you
actually
guys.
go to the front and I'll meet you up there.
Sure. Where is it?
Go upstairs in City Hall
Okay.
to the front door.
Okay.
Go
Is it
inside.
Is it facing this street or is it inward to the plaza?
Either way, you'll be able to get in, but you know where the front doors are?
Yeah.
Go in that way.
Okay. What was your name?
My name is Sergeant Sturko.
Sturko. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Well, Matt did go up to that lobby, but that officer never came to greet him. Instead, another one came up to Matt and told him he wasn't allowed to wait at all on the property. Matt went around the corner, and then a media liaison came up and disclosed just exactly what type of collusion takes place when it comes to state-run media and who gets to control what questions get answered for the public.
Hey.
How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I want to be nice with you. I want you to be nice with me.
Yeah.
So I'm not a bad cop. I'm a good cop. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So you have access to this.
Okay. Yeah.
I won't prevent you to do your
Oh, that's
job.
great. I was worried that you would.
No.
Okay.
I'll never do that unless you go overboard.
Understand.
Then I am going to have to address you
Yeah.
gently.
Sure.
Okay, and
Yeah.
even your reporter or whatsoever.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing that you did yesterday,
Yeah.
yelling, please avoid it. Please.
Can I ask a question then, like respectfully?
Yes.
What are the odds of us getting an actual question? Because if we can actually have a question and be respected as actual press, then we won't have to, yell
Well,
yell our questions. Because
I'm new to this. I've been
Okay.
on this for only around 50 days. Okay.
okay, I'm new
So-
too.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The thing is that in order for you guys to be respected from all the other media, it's not only me.
Okay.
But to be respected from the other media, the other journalists, usually what they do to ask questions, they gather together very respectfully. They deal with each other, and they will say, okay, CBC, you might have the first question, and then
Sure.
with CTV and all
But
those
there was
guys.
someone from your office that was handling questions yesterday at the podium. For the
Alex,
speakers.
yes.
And honestly, we're not accountable to CBC or CTV or anybody
No,
else.
I know. If you guys are behaving like the others are behaving,
Yeah.
in a normal and fashioned way, okay, I guess you'll pave your way to.
I
You have to respect that.
I mean, I would like to believe you, but it's just not the case, right? Like
Man, we're not into a territory of, you have. Like me, I've been paving my way here. I
Right.
was just a cameraman before. I'm
Yeah.
here now because I've been respectful. They've been respectful to me.
I understand you're trying to do your job.
But at this point, what I'm telling you as if you behave in a way that it's shocking for others, I'm sorry, you're just building up a wall. No?
Yeah, fair enough. And we have
But then again, I'm repeating this. I'm repeating this. If you behave in a certain way where you respect and you want to be respected and you respect the others, that's the way to do it. Okay?
Okay.
Because every time that you guys are just going overboard, you're lowering your chances of being respected.
I'm just going to save my tears for later on that. Who cares if we're respected by the media? I'm worried about being respected by the viewers, by you, by the Canadians. And that's why I ask the questions that I ask. Will you condemn the burning of churches in our province a hate crime, Horgan?
Can you keep the weight?
Will you acknowledge persecution against Christians in British Columbia?
Thank you.
I'm not going to go near him. I'm just asking a question. That's all. I would
I have a
appreciate
job to do too,
but
babe.
please don't touch me.
You're touching me by advancing into my arms.
No, I'm going
Okay, well then-
sideways, not forward, and you
Don't
touch
advance.
me. Mutual
I'm good.
agreement.
I'm good.
I'm just asking
You
for
don't
the
have to
respect.
touch me if you don't want
I
me
didn't
to like
touch you.
that.
I went this way.
You
I'm
know
not
what?
touching you. We have a mutual agreement. I won't touch you. You don't touch me. Thank you. A family was inside the church that was burnt in Ontario. Will you call it hate and terrorism to attack Christian places of worship, Prime Minister? We are being persecuted. Ran away again. since Trudeau chose to smugly walk away instead of acknowledge the hate involved when someone is lighting churches on fire with families inside of it. We now have learned that the CBC report that stated that the family was in there during the time of the attempted arson was not the case. It was actually just the father, but nevertheless, this is the Prime Minister not caring either way. So we were told if we're good, we'll get a pat on the head, we won't get removed from here, and we'll maybe be allotted a question in the future. Well, this is Rebel News I work for. I don't obey Trudeau when it's not constitutional to do so. So I asked my questions. I asked it to Trudeau, and I asked it to John Horgan. And of course, I tried to take the proper protocols by emailing and phoning in too. Of course, I just never got chosen. Then take a look at what some of the protesters had to say on his way out of the building.
It's burning up our whole province! John Horgan, stop clear-cutting BC's forests!
St. Mary Creek!
John Horgan, stop clear-cutting BC's rainforest! John Horgan, stop clear-cutting BC's rainforest!
It appears like this semi-truck tried to intentionally block possibly the Prime Minister on his way out. He's blocking the road. The police are in there right now. We're going to speak to them about what their cause is in just a moment, but let's see what unfolds. Can I ask you why you were protesting Trudeau's visit here?
I'm here to protest John Horgan's visit here. I'm here to advocate for the protection of the last 2.7% of ancient old growth rainforest on BC. The last 2.7% of old growth temperate rainforest in BC is at risk of being clear cut, logged.
Why do you think that your message isn't being heard by the government?
It's not being heard by the government because they've been clear cut logging since the colonizers and came here, and since that all started. But I think we're not being listened to because we're seeing peaceful land defenders being forcefully removed from the land by police with insane extractions with crazy power tools, and frankly, Indigenous sovereignty is being ignored.
Well, what do you think about the Indigenous people who are pro-logging and the jobs that it provides for certain people?
I think those people have been kind of coerced into a system that allows them to make money, and it's understandably so. Everyone needs to make money, but Indigenous law has never been about clear-cut logging. They've always been stewards of the land, and Indigenous people that are pro-logging have been subject to colonization and the ideals of that.
So you think that their voice isn't their own?
Pardon me?
You think their voice isn't their own?
No, I do think the voice is their own. I think that the colonization of Canada has led to people being forced to clear cut their lands is the way to be financially independent.
Well, it looks like they let the truck driver go, and now we're running somewhere else in Surrey, and eventually we'll talk to some people. Let's see if we can ask someone as we walk. What are you protesting today?
Truckies and truck issue. No work.
For how long?
3 months.
Hi. So you just stopped your car or your truck in the intersection. What was that for?
It's a problem and just turn around and just honk, right? And the showing on the majority on the last 3 months sitting on the home. No work there.
So I'm trying all the MLs, MPs, but nobody's answering for my emails on my phone, right? So today my all the brothers coming on the protest on the. So that's why when I'm going to the front of the prime minister, right? Then please guys, you know everything, right? How they treat. But now is everything good.
Were you actually trying to stop the prime minister from driving through?
No. Just I'm turn around and the horn, right? No.
That's it.
Yeah.
So how long have the truckers here been without work?
Last 3 months. Yeah, no penny, less than penny. I'm my home, right? So that's why I'm trying. I want work, right? I am capable every day.
Wow. So they talked upstairs. I was up there with them and they were, patting their own backs about providing jobs in Surrey. So what do you think about that?
I don't know what's playing on, right? So now I think today's they come here, right? Some is the pressure on the MLA MPs, maybe some dues on the in future.
The prime minister was leaving. There was a safety risk. The road was blocked, right? When you're in the middle of the traffic, you got to obey the laws no matter what. On protest, the laws of the Motor Vehicle Act are very clearly defined, right? When a police officer is giving you lawful directions to go in a certain direction, you have to abide by those directions. There's time to have a communication after, but follow the directions. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much.
Same thing.
City, you are essential service to Canadians. We need our goods to move. So we need to be on the same team and we need to fight bad government and we need to vote better come the next election. And there's going to be options coming our way at the federal level, but also we're working in BC at the provincial level as well. So anyways, it was such an encouragement to see all of you come out today as well to oppose Justin Trudeau. He belongs in jail as well. And I'm sorry to hear of your suffering and how this has affected you. Anyways, thank you.
Unite together, guys. Stay together, stay united, guys.
Thank you.
Comment below, let us know what you thought about this report. And if you haven't seen the first time I posed these questions to Trudeau and was manhandled, make sure you go to rebelnews.com and watch that report. You'll also see the announcement he made that day, which was about childcare and how it will be $10 a day for families for children under 6. He's really, like I said, throwing the money out, buttering up some people right now. I'm Drea Humphrey with Rebel News. You guys, I may fearlessly bring you these reports, and honestly, it's not that fearless. They're scary to do. I just do them anyways because it's important for you to get some answers. But that's why I want you to stand with me. Please go to standwithdrea.com. I don't want to get assaulted, bringing you the other side of the story. Help keep me safe and other journalists as well. Sign the petition at standwithdrea.com.